So the Supreme Court nixes $430 billion in student loan forgiveness. What does that mean for you as a veteran? In this video, we're going to talk about what that means. Coming right up. The Supreme Court struck down Joe Biden's administration student debt relief plan that would have aided more than 40 million people, 916,000 of whom live in Arizona and currently hold a total of $32 billion in loans. Let me say that again, $32 billion in school loans. What does this have to do with you as a veteran? Couple things. Number one, debt to income ratio, and number two, money for closing costs. That's how it can affect you as a veteran. Because now if you were a veteran who had your school loans in deferment, now we know they're not going to be forgiven. So now while we're calculating your debt to income ratio as a lender, we now have to include your school loans because that program ended. We're now going to have to count that in your debt to income ratio. So what does that mean for you? You may not qualify for as much money now. You may not qualify at all, depending on where your debt to income ratios are. We may have to wait. You may have to get a cosigner. You may have to get additional money. These are all things that you may have to deal with now that this is coming to an end. And quite honestly, it's had to happen. Since the pandemic, people have been putting their school loans on deferment. They've been just kicking that can down the road, kicking it down the road. At some point, the can was going to have to get picked up. Somebody was going to have to do something. And unfortunately, we are at that point right now. All right. So debt to income ratio can be affected when it comes to now factoring in school loans that you thought, hey, maybe we can get these forgiven, right? The Biden administration or Trump or whoever you thought was going to fix your school loan problems, not going to happen. So that's number one. It can affect your debt to income ratio. About 500,000 Arizonians applied for the program as of March, and more than 300,000 applications were approved for debt relief. Before any money could be dispersed, however, the program was halted by legal challenges from Republican-led states. Now, this is not about Republican or Democrat, guys. I really don't give a damn. I don't care about Republican. I don't care, okay? But the fact that, first of all, so many people in Arizona, I don't understand what it is about Arizona and why they have so many people who have so much in school debt. I don't understand that. The Biden administration justified the program under the HEROES Act of 2003, which lets the education secretary waive or modify laws related to federal student loan programs to ensure recipients of student financial assistance are not placed in a worse financial position because of a national emergency. Student debt payments had been paused by the Trump administration during COVID-19 pandemic. Current Education Secretary Miguel Cardona cited the HEROES Act extending the payment moratorium and instituted the debt relief plan to smooth the transition back to repayment and help borrowers at highest risk of delinquencies or default once payments resume. So in a nutshell, they were trying to kick the can down the road, right? That's what this comes to. They were trying to kick this down the road. And now it is time to pay the piper, all right? Student loans debts are not going to be forgiven. This program is coming to an end, and it is now going to affect not only my veterans, but it's going to affect a lot of people, right? You don't have a down payment, true. However, you still have closing costs as a veteran. So now if you're now having to put money into repaying your loans, your student loan debt, you now have less money. You now have less money for closing costs because even though the VA loan does not have a down payment, there is closing costs, and the closing costs have to be paid by somebody. It's either going to be you as the buyer or the seller or a combination of the two. But if you are now paying money for your school loans, well, guess what? There's more money out of your pocket now. That is how this will impact you, not only your debt to income ratio, but your money for closing, your money for the inspections, your money for your earnest money, right? You now have less money because now you're having to pay these school loans. So I would just suggest that you talk to a professional, number one, see where you're at if you haven't already. If you did get pre-approved a month, 2, 3 months or longer, get approved again. Get pre-approved again. Not a pre-qualification, guys. All right, that's a whole nother video. Get a pre-approval, get everything updated, and make sure you still have the ability to qualify for the home that you are looking for. Now, this is just one challenge that we have. There's more information that you're going to need. I will go check out this next video right here. Go check that video out. It's going to help you continue to learn more about the VA loan and what you can do to make sure you are qualified. I'm James J. I'll see you over there.